How to make more money using English. According to Forbes Mexico, you can make up to 3.9 times more if you can speak business English. A big reason this is because if you look at the Mexican job market, about 12% of Mexicans can speak English. And let's say about half of them, or 6%, could speak business English or use English in a professional setting. You're in the top 6% of the workforce. You're going to make more money. And if you can use English effectively, you would be in the top 1% of the workforce. Bilingual professionals are highly sought after. One reason is because 50 to 70% of international business is done in English. And for example, in the United States, they are fast tracking the visa program for all applicants that have a college degree and a job offer. Having a bilingual skill is super important today, and here's a big reason why. According to Statista, 51% of the internet is in English. This includes social media, remote jobs, digital marketplaces, coding, science, data, all sorts of information is in English. So if you're a Spanish speaker and you add English, you 10 times your exposure, even more with other languages. So you have access to so much more opportunity by adding English right there. Social media marketing, that's a huge. Influencers, you can reach markets that are huge just by adding English to you. And you're probably here because you understand that if you can add English, or maybe you already are using English or learning English or using it in your job, that you can make a lot more money. But you're sitting there and you're going, okay, I'm learning, but I'm having some challenges. Let's talk about the biggest reasons people, and some of my students all around the world, from Turkey to Portugal to South America to Japan, are having issues using English in a professional setting. And the first big reason is that most of you guys have a really great skill in your language, but when you use English and you use your skill in English, it doesn't translate, and it creates what we call an expression gap. And we want to close this gap right here. We want to close the gap here. And the reason this gap exists, generally speaking, most of my students learned either from school, from traveling, from watching movies, music, reading books, things like that. And that's great. And so that's what I would call social English. So you're learning this English and then you're using it for traveling and like consuming content and things like that, right? It's great. But what happens is that you go into the professional environment using this book English or this social English, and you're trying to use it in business environments, and it just doesn't translate. Let's face it, going out to dinner with friends abroad on a vacation is a lot different than interviewing for your dream job, or going to dinner with your boss or a client, or leading a presentation. So what happens is we're trying to take this social English and apply it to this business English situation, and it just doesn't translate. And it's really frustrating, right? Your personality doesn't come through, your ideas don't come through, and you're just not confident, and you might not get the job, you might not make the impression you want, and you never feel really satisfied with what you bring to the table. And the reason this exists, it's not complicated, it's just very much overlooked, okay? The reason why this exists is because there's something missing, and it's a strategy. This is what they don't teach you. They teach you grammar, they teach you pronunciation, they teach you vocab, phrases, but they don't teach you how to apply it. It's kind of like if someone gave me paintbrushes and a canvas and paints and all this stuff and said, hey, Dave, draw me a beautiful painting of the mountains. I'd be like, okay, I can draw you something, but it's not going to be great. But if you said, hey, let me give you these skills, these tools, and I'm going to teach you how to draw a tree and a mountain and a rock, and I'm going to teach you how to blend colors. Now I can start creating a painting that maybe I can even potentially sell at one point. So what we need to add to this equation is a strategy. It's the one thing they don't teach you, and it's the most important thing. I know a lot of people that speak English. That doesn't mean they're good at their jobs or they're effective at what they do, right? Because you need to have the strategy. And it's time to reframe the thinking. A lot of you guys think, I need more grammar, I need more pronunciation. Let's learn how to use what we have more effectively. It's not about more, it's about using what we have more effectively. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take your current English level. So even if you're a beginner, you can use this. And then we're going to add a proven strategy. And this is where I come in. And I'll give you a little background about this and where this strategy comes from and why it's important. When I was in high school, we had a couple guys from Madrid that lived. One would live with me, and another lived with some of my friends. And in 2022, I was visiting him in Madrid, and we were having lunch, and he was talking about how he wanted to sell pistachios in the United States from his family farm. And I said, well, why don't you? And he said, well, I just can't. It's just not quite the same. Like, I'm like, but you speak English. He's like, yeah, but it's not the same. When you get in the sales situation, it's a different situation, and it doesn't really work. And I was like thinking, and I'm like, well, I was in finance for 15 years. I did over 150 million in phone sales. I had 7 investment licenses. I became a professional copywriter. And I think being in the US, we kind of forget that we have this huge advantage knowing English and having these kind of resources to us. And I thought, what if I could take all of that experience and give this to Juan so that he could sell his pistachios and have the confidence and have his ideas come through and make that connection. And that's really what we're going to do here. And the step-by-step process, and this is what we use in the biggest banks and brokerages in the United States. And I guarantee you, people are using these strategies this very day to close million-dollar deals over the phone and over video and in person. So I'm going to give these to you as this English language learner so you can overcome those challenges. You can get the resources that you need so that you can participate in this global economy, so that you can increase your salary, so you can get job opportunities outside of your country. Maybe you're part of a nearshoring movement. Maybe you want to look into different markets. Maybe you want to sell your own business. Maybe you want to sell your own services. Maybe you want to get a remote job in a different country. These strategies are going to help you get those jobs so you can take the English you have and apply it in a strategic way to get a specific result. And I'm going to walk you through each one step by step. There's 4 main steps. The first one is your value proposition. This is super important for communicating who you are to your marketplace, to your boss, to your client. And most importantly, it is the foundation that you're going to use for your own belief, to organize your ideas so that when you get into that meeting, you're not trying to come up with some idea, right? You know how when someone says, what do you do for work? And you always answer differently and it never really feels right. That day is over. Once you have this value proposition down, you're going to be able to articulate who you are, how you do it, and have better conversations where you're not trying to translate it in the moment, but you're just like on top of it. You can also use it to create social media. You can use it for writing. You can use it to organize your thoughts and ideas. That's the first step. The second step is about understanding communication styles so that we can remove obstacles and make stronger connections faster. First, by understanding how we like to give and receive information and how other people like to receive information so we can make those connections a lot faster and deliver value much faster. The next step is to look at how do we prepare for these meetings. That's a really good benefit of business English, is that we know what the conversation is going to be about. So let's prepare. We can use all of these steps to improve our grammar, our pronunciation, and study phrases and how we're actually going to have the conversations so that when we get into the moment, we can focus on the person in front of us and make a better impression and say the things, let our personality come out, let our confidence, let our ideals shine so that people understand who we are. From this point, you can go a couple different routes. You can look at how to network. You can look at how to handle objections, how to build rapport, interviewing. And that's really the foundation and framework that we use in the biggest banks and brokerages in the United States. And I want to provide that for you because it's such a huge opportunity for you bilingual professionals or multilingual professionals to tap into these markets by using English in a more strategic way to outperform, to be the top of the interview pool, to get the presentation, to have that be a success, to close the client, to impress the boss, whatever it is you need to do to put yourself and live your dream life. These are the steps that you can do it. So here's 2 choices you can do. Each one of these steps, there's a video link in the description below. You can click and go through them. If you're saying, hey, Dave, this is serious for me. I have a really great desire to succeed. This is important. I know there's a huge opportunity. I'm willing to invest my time, money, and energy. I am right now, for the first time ever, offering my program. It's a 4-week business English course for $197. It includes 4 one-on-one classes, lifetime access to my video course, which is four videos, and a copy of my ebook, 15 for Coffee, the English Language Learner's Guide to International Business. If you're serious about it, and you can go through the steps, and if you're serious about it, go ahead and book a call with me. Serious applicants over only. Let's talk about your situation and see if this is going to be a good fit for you so that you can get the results that you're looking for. I know you guys got this. All you need is a strategy. You already have the tools. You have the ambition. You have the talent. Now we need to put it all together so that you have the strategy. So when you go into that situation, you're ready to kill it and you have the confidence that you need to get the results that you deserve. You got this. I'll see you guys later, okay?